Why is
Yeah.
he overrated? You know what I mean?
You're going to pay anyone as one way or another to shoot here.
One out of 100. Excellent. Some kind of fundamental
Welcome to It's More Than Just Money, where we delve into conversations with entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and change makers who are making a difference in the South African business landscape, all the way from the grassroots level to the highest echelons of business and of society. Now, today I'm sitting with Mr. Moloko Makgele. He's an entrepreneur, a business person, someone who's got a vast experience in the finance and leadership space. And today we're going to just be having a casual conversation, but I want you to take out a pen and paper, because what I always say is that in as much as we would see people's glory in certain parts of their lives, there's always a story that they need to tell. And with him, I think his story ties in more in to his level of understanding when it comes to accounting, when it comes to finance, and when it comes to building a property portfolio from scratch, and also delving into his new venture where he's helping people take care of their credit profiles and then converting into becoming property investors. And those of you who are watching, remember, when he does assist you to fix your credit profiles and you buy properties, always list your properties on adprop.co.za. If you don't know what Adprop is, head out to adprop.co.za. You'll be able to find a property to buy, find a property to rent. If you're a property investor with a property portfolio, you will then be able to list your properties on the platform and use the platform to manage your property investment portfolios. And if you're someone who is in the property industry as a service provider, you can use the property to find people that are going to be your clients in the property investment space. Now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, we will start our conversation with Moloko Makgele. You've worked hard over the years, eh?
We try, man. We try to push as much as we can, man.
Thank you for making time to join us on It's More Than Just Money. Maybe just take us through a quick overview about your background, who you are, where you come from, where you started, and what makes you tick.
Yeah. Thanks, Witness. Thanks for having me. I'm a Limpopo guy, man. I'm born and bred in Limpopo. The township called Seshego.
Where Julius comes from
Definitely, that's my homie.
is your neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah, he's from a different section, but yeah, we all from Seshego. So I grew up in Seshego. I've done my schooling in Seshego as well. I went to University of Limpopo for my tertiary. And then after that, I went to UNISA, done my postgrad, and then I've done my MBA as well. So yeah, that's education-wise, entrepreneurship. I think I've as I grew up, my mother was a person who actually, she didn't really work, but I remember she worked at one of the big retails, I think Pick and Pay or something, and Spar and something. But yeah, she was mainly into entrepreneurship. She will sell, beers at home. She will sell, like anything she can make money out of, But I think I've picked up that from her. On the side of my dad was just a working guy, man, just a normal working guy, doing his 9 to 5 at a Tiger Brands in Limpopo there. And then that's where entrepreneurship, I think, ticked from my mother's side. And then I've done my schooling in Limpopo, and then I went into corporate in 2007. After doing my BCom accounting in University of Limpopo, and then corporate back since. I'm still in corporate even now. We're trying to juggle entrepreneurship, corporate, and building portfolios. While we we still fit, we can juggle all these things.
What was the transition like from, as I'm listening to you, you went to a rural primary school,
Yeah.
township rural,
Township, yeah.
and then township rural high school,
Yeah.
and then technically University of Limpopo
Yes.
is township rural
Township
university,
rural as well, yes.
right?
Yeah.
What was the transition like moving from that and going into corporate
Yeah.
for the first time? I remember we once had
Yeah,
that conversation,
yeah.
so it just sparked
Yeah.
that question now.
Yeah.
Seeing a computer for the first time
Yeah,
there at
man.
work, seeing a white person maybe for the first time
Yeah.
even.
Quite interesting witness. I think I struggled a bit for the first few months. I believe it was a bit of a struggle. The computer, of course, we've done the computer at university level. You're aware of that. But from a typical thing like structuring an email, it's corporate is kind regards. So structuring an email and it was a bit of a struggle. But I remember I had a guy that actually took my hand and took me through the corporate environment. And then I think he actually helped me a lot in terms of all those nitty-gritties of corporate. But yeah, it was a bit of a struggle. You're from environment of, the black environment, so to say, and then you go into corporate, you have to live up to the name, corporate. So it was a bit of a struggle, but eventually, so I believe we all need someone just to hold your hand a bit. The hunger was there. I want to learn. You just want someone to hold your hand. Come, let me show you the ropes. Yeah.
And then looking at your career, both academically and professionally, it's got a lot to do with finance,
Yeah.
right? But I want to start with also this simple question. What shaped your relationship with money when you were growing up?
Yeah.
Because I know you also, because of the projects that you've done,
Yeah.
it's got a lot of savings
Yeah.
that go with what you do. But what shaped that relationship with money?
Yeah.
And what channeled the thought that money always ought to be invested?
For me, I think it's having to realize when you're young that at home they have a limited budget, so to say, limited money. You know that I might have attendant today.
Were you poor?
Not poor, but I'll say an average household in the township. I've never slept hungry. Whenever I wanted maybe a sneaker or whatever, my father would buy for me. But it's more of knowing that I might not have this money next week. I remember, we used to, the township, we used to contribute some monies at December holidays, 31st at Kholangwa, so to say. We'll contribute money,
Majida or else?
Majida and all that. Sometimes you'll bring your girlfriends and all that. But yeah, I used to actually save money from January
to contribute.
to contribute for that.
Yeah.
I remember contributing around, I think, 100 francs, so to say. But I will actually, not that my father wouldn't give me 100 rand, but I will put money aside, making sure that I'm good come December. I don't want any troubles. So I think that it actually cemented the savings culture and the investment culture in me, So that's what I will do. I'll save money, make sure that I'm good come December. And then since then, I remember even, I can give you another example where I started working. And then, when you started working from that black background, first thing that you do, you open a retail clothing accounts for most of us. Not all, of course. I think at some point I had like 3, if not 4, buy from all this non-retail. And then at some point I got into financial trouble because I was spending money like it's nothing. I started to work, and then all of a sudden I have this money that I don't really have a structure in spending. I just spend as I go. And I bought my first car as well. And then the lifestyle changed completely as well.
What car was that?
It was a Ford Fiesta. It was a Ford Fiesta. That was my my first car, a silver gray one, yeah. And then the lifestyle change. You go to party, you move around a lot with your friends. That's money. You spend money. And at some point, I had to sit down because I will have credit cards all over the place. At some point, I couldn't pay them. And then I had to actually introspect, like, you know what, I can't live like this. I remember it was towards winter. I had to let go of my car. No one came to me and say, you know what, let go of the car. I had to introspect. I was like, I can't live like this. Let go of the car. I went back to public transport.
What made you let go of the car?
It was basically wanting to fix my finances, because I knew this car, this is actually the main source of my issues financially. Moving around, you have to maintain the car, you have to go party almost every weekend. I was like, let me get rid of this car.
How old were you then?
I was, I think I was around 24, 25.
That's a big decision.
Yeah.
For a 24-year-old to let go of a car.
Definitely.
But later on in your career, you actually published findings on South Africans' spending behavior or savings behavior.
Yeah.
What drove you to investigate this? And I'm tying it with the fact that you just told us a story of how you messed up your finances at the beginning of your career. You came back and wanted to rectify it. And then later, there's something that says, do research on South Africa's spending behavior as well as savings.
Yeah.
What drove you to investigate this?
This was basically a part of my the MBA program. It was my dissertation. So because I'm a finance guy, man, I do numbers. So by default, I had to look around numbers. So in the savings culture, that's what I think intrigued me as well, that there's a notion that the guys in mid-rent, they don't spend money wisely.
Everyone always picks on
they don't.
mid-rent.
Exactly.
What is it with you guys?
I have no idea, but yeah, there's that notion. So I was like, okay, let me just try to investigate how the finance are being, consumed in mid-rent, and my title was Investigation into Savings Behavior of the Household in Mid-Rent.
Savings behavior of the households in mid-rent.
In mid-rent, yeah.
Yes.
So
what shocked you the most about your findings?
that, I think my findings are, or were actually, that people do know that they have to save. But the issue of instant gratification, you want something now, even though you can't really afford it. You just want things now because you want to be seen that you can afford. I think that's the issue with the Black community, so to say. Not all people, of course, but for most people that I've engaged, it's a matter of, I know that I have to save for emergencies, I have to invest, but at the moment I'm not doing that. Yeah, that's the issue.
So with that, does it mean South Africans are broke, or are they just financially misinformed? Is it a matter of being broke, or is it because someone might say, I'm not saving because I can't afford to save?
Yeah.
And someone who has the money to save might say, okay, I don't even know that I must save. So is it a matter of being broke or a matter of being financially misinformed?
I think, it's a bit of both, but mostly I say it's lack of knowledge.
So misinformed.
Misinformed, of course.
Yeah.
You will have people that they can't afford all the wage or the salary that they get. It goes to the basic needs. You have those. But again, you have people that can really afford to save, but they choose not to. Why? Again, instant gratification, to just buy things now. Because remember, when you save, you're actually foregoing other things.
Yeah, so there's something you're sacrificing.
You have to sacrifice.
Okay.
Because you're putting money, saving money for, maybe saving money for rainy days. Maybe you're saving money to buy a property in future, you actually you have to forgo something at the moment for in future, so that you can be able to get whatever you want. But for most of us, we struggle with that. We want things now.
So in your research, you noted high unemployment, poor planning,
Yeah.
and informal savings.
Yeah.
Can you break these down for us in a way that an everyday person would
Yeah.
understand that unemployment, poor planning,
Yeah.
and informal savings? And then tell us if the problem is income
Yeah.
or just financial culture.
Unemployment, it goes without saying. Unemployment, you can't save if you're not employed. You don't have an income. You can't save. How do you save? Because you're actually struggling on daily basis for the basic needs. Planning, it goes to knowledge, and being self-aware as well.
Yeah.
So if you're not self-aware, you wouldn't know that, I want to save for a particular thing, And then again, what's the other point?
The other point was informal savings.
Informal saving. Informal
Poor
saving,
planning and informal savings.
the stock falls.
That's the informal savings.
Those are more of informal.
What you saving for a party in December?
You saving for the groceries in December. You saving for a party. You saving for alcohol. Some they do save for alcohol, unfortunately.
Why is that considered informal?
It's more of some they'll actually just open a bank account and put money in the bank account without investing it. And
to buy the groceries.
just to buy groceries. It's saving, but it's not regarded in the mainstream as such. It's still a stokvel. In terms of some don't even have a structure in place. Because a typical stokvel will have constitution. You'll have maybe a board as well. You have a chairman. You have a treasury. But most of them, of course, they'll be quite formal in that regard. Yeah.
So, based on what you've just said, what then is your advice to young professionals that are still starting out, earning 10,000 and below, and they want to start saving? Because a lot of people always say, what must I save? Because I'm earning 6.5. 10% of 6.5 is 650.
Yeah.
Should I be saving 650?
No.
Should I be saving 1,000?
Yeah. Savings, ideally, you can break it down in three. Maybe the 50% will cater for your basic needs, the transportation and all that. Maybe 30%. Maybe 30% you can use it to put away for your investments. Maybe you can buy shares.
So from 10,000, 3,000 is for investment.
It depends.
5,000 is for household.
It depends with the affordability and all that and structure that you want to put. This is just more of a guideline.
Sure.
So you can take your 30% or even take 20%, and because you don't want to in a space where you take all your money away, but you can't live. Cater for your basic needs first, but put something away. Let's say you're earning 6,000 a month. For me personally, what I will do if I'm earning 6,000, I'll take 1,000 every month. Immediately when the money hits the bank account, 1,000 goes away. I will take it as if I'm earning 5,000. That's basically almost 20% of what I'm earning.
So it's conditioning yourself that I live on 5, I don't have the other one.
That's it. And that definitely you're gonna reap the rewards. You can invest in shares. There is easy equity where you can maybe make a debit order of 200 a month.
Yeah, but
to
look,
invest in shares.
Although you talk about saving now, in my experience dealing with you, you are more inclined to invest than you are to save in your own personal journey and in business. So should we be saving or should we be investing or should we be doing both?
It's both.
In what way? Take us through.
In a manner where a savings, you can put money in savings account where you can easily access it in terms of whenever you have emergencies.
Okay.
That you can use it as savings. Investment is more of a long-term project. You can't put, I can't advise because I'm not qualified to give advice, but I wouldn't recommend someone to put money for emergencies in shares or in investment, because let's
They
say...
can't even put it in a property.
Yeah, it's not liquid. Come next week, maybe your tire burst. You must buy a tire. Are you going to be able to withdraw that money immediately? You can't, because it's locked up in an asset. So savings and invest are more inclined into investing, yes, because investing is more of you're going to create wealth as you invest.
Sure.
But savings for your investments, for your emergency, save money aside.
And what's the easiest way then to start investing in assets?
For me personally, the easiest way it will be buying shares. Is easy nowadays, man. We have so many platforms where you can buy shares. And I'm into shares. I'm into property as well. Property for me is the ultimate goal. But it takes time investing in property compared to shares. Shares, I can open an account today, the following day pay money into my share account.
But you won't have cash flow from
invest shares.
tomorrow.
You won't.
Yeah.
You won't. So it's money that you put aside for investing for long term.
So is the goal cash flow or is the goal capital gains?
Both. And it depends with your strategy. For me at the moment, when I check my property, I'm mainly looking at the cash flow at the moment. But I know that capital gain, it's happening in the background as well. But my main focus is cash flow.
Why is cash flow important and why is it the focus?
It's cash flow will actually enable you to do other things as well. You'll be able to reinvest the money as well, buy more properties. As you buy a property, there are fees that you have to pay. The property portfolio as well needs maintenance. It's money, and you have to pay yourself as well from that particular investment. It's cash flow as well.
What can schools, parents, and even employers practically do to change our financial future?
I believe we need a curriculum, especially from as early as primary, to teach about the savings culture, the investments, because basically we don't have that.
Savings
in the high
and
schools.
investment culture in the high schools.
We don't, unless now I'm not. It's been a long time since I finished my high school. But
What year was it?
2002, man.
That's a long time.
It's quite a long time.
23 years ago.
No, it's quite a long time. But as far as I know, there isn't a curriculum where they actually teach investment and savings, because this thing, it goes hand in hand with working, with adulting. You need that from as early as possible. Yeah.
But since you've worked with complex financial products and systems,
Yeah.
do you think the average person is excluded from real financial opportunities?
No one is excluding anyone. That's a bottom line. It's a leg.
There are no gatekeepers?
No, information is really available on the internet with you. At any time, the internet, you can go to internet now and search, how can I invest? You'll get information. It's more of people having the leg of doing these things, because it's easy to investment nowadays.
Sure.
It's quite easy.
Yeah. So guys, remember this conversation is brought to you by adprop.co.za. Adprop is one of South Africa's leading listing platforms when it comes to property, when it comes to listing your property for rental or for sale. It is also leading when it comes to providing property management tools and also providing maintenance tools, and you having access to service providers within the property space that are going to help you maintain your property, paint it, have electricians on board, so on and so forth. Go out to adprop.co.za for you to get more information. Remember to list, and sign up on the platforms. So how do we close the gap between formal finance and ordinary South Africans? You know, there are formal structures
Yeah.
in the finance world.
Yeah.
And not many ordinary South Africans understand what those formal structures
Yeah.
are and what they can use them
Yeah.
for to their benefit. How do we close that gap?
You know, I think it's actually on our shoulders as the ones that are hook at the moment.
Yeah.
Let's go back and plant the seed to our people. You know,
Yeah.
those are the ones that basically I believe they lack information. They lack the willingness, and actually being someone that an example as you go to them, they can see and they can realize that, you know what, this person is doing well because of 1, 2, 3. There's a track record. Go in there.
But if they say you
and provide
sold,
guidance.
out to white monopoly capital,
I mean, that's they always say that. No, that's that part and parcel of being up there with the elite. You know, you'll be criticized. You'll definitely be criticized, man. They'll tell you that, man, you sold out this and this and this. You know, but it's our responsibility to go back and put the seat back, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your vision for financial literacy in South Africa?
You know, at the moment, I've started a new venture where I actually assist in repairing the credit score. You know, that's part and parcel of me assisting. You know, because I've realized that as I'm into property, there are guys who want to go in property as well. They come to me asking for advice, but you find that that actual person has a bad credit score. So you know what? I realized that there's a market where I can tap in as well and try to assist in this regard. Yeah.
What type of economic leadership do we need to drive savings,
Yeah.
ownership, and long-term wealth?
You know, leadership, I'm not sure leadership what you're talking. Are you talking about political leadership? Or you're talking
No. Political leadership plays no role here.
Yeah.
I'm talking about economic leadership.
Yeah.
So say, for instance, you've spoken about your new venture.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the direction in terms of leadership that we need? Or maybe perhaps do you think it's all in the hands of politics? Or do you think people have it within themselves to do it?
You know, honestly,
Should we lead ourselves, or are we waiting to be led?
you know, according to my research, according to my understanding, people need to be led. You know, for us, like I said, for us who are awoke, let's go back and give back, because you know you have a kid, Kosio, who doesn't know anything about easy equity, who doesn't know anything about unit trust, who doesn't know anything about investing. All he knows is that I have money, I have to spend it. You know, that's where we come in, and we must go and make it our responsibility to go there and provide guidance.
If you had a chance,
Yeah.
right, to advise, let's say, on national policy,
Yeah.
on financial education, where would you start?
I'll start with education, man, within the grassroots level. I'll start with primary. I'll start with having a curriculum where, you know, we start engaging as young as 7, as 6. You know, tell the kids about investing and the benefits thereof, you know, of investing. You know, I'll start there and then go up as primary, high school, you know, and install that investing and saving culture.
Did you study finance because you had a keen interest on it as a kid?
Yeah.
Or basically because you were just good at it in school?
It was more of, I think it was more of a default, but I enjoyed numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy numbers. You know, I could do anything numbers wise. I enjoy numbers.
Which demographic, or maybe let's talk gender, is actually good at saving money?
Jeez.
Male or female?
Yeah, that's
According to findings.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. But what I realize is that females, they're quite in save money. You know, they're quite bit responsible compared to the counterparts, the male.
Why is it because, or what's the reason? Let me not
Cast
aspersions. Let me just ask.
I believe the reason is that males, they have this added pressure of being seen that they are doing well.
Where does it come from?
It comes from, I think, from as early age, man. As early, a man in the community is determined by his pocket.
A man in the community is determined by his pocket.
It's unfortunately.
Why?
You are being seen as a man.
Monna ke potle.
Definitely. Unfortunately, but that's how it is. That's what it is. If you're poor in the community, you're not being seen as a man as such. But come Witty with his G-class there. No, Witty is being regarded as a high-value man.
Even if the G-class I'm owing 2 million.
Exactly.
What's high value about owing 2 million on a car?
No. From,
And I'm just asking.
Exactly. From people's perspective, you are being seen as doing well. They don't know your finances, how they're structured, or whether you sleep hungry because you're paying for G-class. They don't know.
Talking about G-class, I was talking to this other friend at the gym, and we had this very same conversation. At Witness, you don't know what's going on out there.
Yeah.
We visit our friends with G-classes.
Yeah.
And you open the fridge, all there is a bottle of water.
Exactly. It goes back to that financial literacy thing. I want to be seen as doing well. I want to be seen as I go to Sashio there being Moloko is doing well, this one. Yet, my foundation is not proper.
What's the best way to cover the foundation?
The foundation is knowing who you are, man, and what you want.
So you reckon it's that deep?
No, it is.
We don't know who we are?
We don't. For me personally, I know that I'm a firstborn. My siblings are looking up to me. If I don't have money or I'm in trouble, I can't make money, something like that, I have no one to fall back to.
You can't phone your siblings.
I can't.
You don't have a big brother.
I can't call myself at home. I can't. I know that I have to be responsible. I know myself. That's the thing, that I know that I have to make sure that I'm proper financially. And I think this has pushed me to the level where I'm comfortable even about it.
So, but what role does marriage play
Yeah.
in helping people become financially successful?
Yeah.
Or being an impediment to their financial success?
That's an interesting question. That's quite interesting. Marriage, it does bring structure in one's life. It brought structure in me. Imagine now, if I'm a bachelor at the moment, I can tell you for free that I'll be all over the place.
Why?
No, it goes without saying, man. You have money. You have plenty of time. You'll be having a salon at the side without knowing you're having Oma and all that. But marriage for me has.
What if the man
brought
says,
structure.
but I can afford to have Solomon Uma?
But you can afford, yes. But remember, again, it's taking your time. Affordability, it can be money-wise. It can be time as well. Remember, we're building here. We're building wealth. And building requires time. Requires money as well.
True.
Yeah. So I can have money and have all these women with me and be able to cater for them. But the time as well.
To give to them.
It
becomes the cost, the opportunity cost.
Definitely. Yeah.
So meaning that stability that comes with having a partner at home, you are saying.
Yeah.
But is this based on research also? Remember, you said you also studied the households.
Yeah.
Was it that the households that were in a marriage setting had more money than those that were single, or what did you find?
It's tricky. This thing of money, man, it's quite complicated. But you can have a household where both partners are working, are bringing a good income. but their expenditure is something else. It's way above their salaries. But again, you can have one a single mother household where the mother is super grounded, but she's bringing less money compared to the household where they are partners.
Is it true that single mothers are more stable?
You know, they are, apparently they are, but I believe they are, according to my research as well, because they know that they have to take care of the kids most of the time. They are the ones that are actually taking care of the kids financially, emotionally, and everything wise.
So are we saying single mothers generally have more money than married women?
They don't really have more money, but they are more inclined.
I know they have more money than single men, though.
You know, definitely. Definitely.
It's studies,
Yeah,
not
no,
me.
definitely. So
Yeah.
they are more inclined to finances because they know that they have to take care of these little ones. Whenever they get paid, their priority is taking care of the kids.
Unless they're in the culture of groove.
Yeah.
And how much do you
It
think
happens.
that culture affects society? The culture of groove,
Yeah.
alcohol,
Yeah.
partying.
Yeah.
You mentioned having Salome
Yeah.
and what Ntabiseng on the other hand.
You know,
How much does that affect society?
I think there are two issues there that I can raise. One is the alcohol consumption, excessive alcohol consumption that is happening, especially in the townships. That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
You know,
My brother, nowadays, with alcohol consumption,
yeah,
you see a woman in a Range Rover
yeah,
and they consume alcohol like a fish.
definitely.
So I think it's jumped the
Definitely.
township part. And
Probably there are underlying issues. You know, some people issues lead them to alcohol. You know, but where I'm from, the townships, I know that you can go to any township. Tembisa is closer here. On a Sunday, you will see the level of alcohol consumption. You ask yourself, when do these people recover so that they can make money? Remember, the following day, they are papalased. Probably they recover on Thursday. You lost the days already where you could be productive. You know, alcohol consumption is really one of the main cause of instability. You know,
of poverty.
of poverty.
Serious?
Alcohol it is. Alcohol is. And the
Are we saying alcohol causes poverty?
it does. I believe so. I believe it does. You can have someone who will take money, the money that is meant for the basic need in the household, and go and buy alcohol
That's true.
and come back and say, I don't have money anymore. They drank the money. You know, and the other issue that I've realized is as men, sometimes we, especially the ones that things are getting together money-wise and all that, and we fail to graduate from being a typical guy of moving around, partying, to graduate to a responsible, a family man.
Sure. So it's a graduation process.
It is, because at some point, remember, in the townships, all we know for most people is alcohol, party, and girls. Mostly. You know,
I've bought a nice car.
Yes.
Obviously, I've made a certain level.
Exactly.
Now, Kitswara wana ba bantsweng.
Yeah, you will have those who are doing well, are proper inclined and all that. But for most of guys and people in township, it's mainly those alcohol, girls, you know, in partying, clothes, you know, that's the thing. But at some point, you need to graduate, move away from that.
How do you graduate from it? How does one enter the graduation process? And before you answer that, guys, remember this conversation is brought to you by Adprop.co.za. That's South Africa's #1 listing platform where you can list the property to buy, list the property for sale or to rent. and also be able to manage your property investment portfolio on the platform. And if you are a service provider in the property space, you're an architect, you're in maintenance, you're in electricity, plumbing, all of that, register on the platform so that you can have access to thousands of property investors that are on the platform.
Yeah. Going back to the graduation. Yeah.
How does one graduate?
You know, it's...
And I mean, a lot of us, I feel, we make money but fail to realize that we are no longer that young man that grew up poor.
Yeah.
That young man that no longer needs to validate themselves. And don't you think that's where sometimes the key issue is? The need for validation and the need to be seen. You just want to be seen. You want to be felt. Now I'm working, I've got money. You know. I'm no longer that boy who used to work barefoot to school. I have a G class now.
No, definitely. It is one of the issues. Want to be validated. And again, you know, you grow up with certain knowledge that you know, limited knowledge from the township. All you know, of course, maybe padding, munati, girls, and all that. But as you move up, you go to corporate. You know, you meet people, you learn from them, they learn from you other things. But that's the time where you have to graduate. You're learning new information. You know, so you have to move away from what you have been doing, what you knew all along. It's life. You find that, you know, that's not life. It's not life. Life is about, you know, being responsible, knowing who you are, you know, and creating wealth, man. I'm more of creating wealth for leaving your kids with properties, leaving your kids with assets.
Do you need to be do you need to come from a wealthy family or have a high income to create wealth? Or anybody can create wealth despite their background?
No, anybody can do it. I'm from an average household. I'm from an average household, you know, and I believe I'm doing well for myself, you know. So whether you come from a poor background, you come from a rich background, all that, you know, especially from a poor background, you know that you have to change the state of where you're coming from. You know, so immediately when you get employment, whether you're earning 5,000, 10,000, you can start investing from that. You can start creating wealth from that.
What level of sacrifice do you need to make if you are coming from behind? And I'll tell you why I'm asking this question. So at gym, I meet this lady mentor of mine, and she's coming from those classes, you know, those gym classes where people, aerobics. So I say to her, the class is still on. Why are you here?
Yeah.
And she says to me, Witness, can you see I'm fit and thin? I don't need to be there for the whole 1 hour, 30 minutes. 1 hour is enough for me. The fat people, sorry guys, excuse me, but that's exactly what she said. The fat people need then 1 hour, 30 minutes because they must catch up with me. And I said to her, isn't that the same with life? That if you are coming from behind, your sacrifice has to be more than the guy that's already ahead of you. Because we as a race, as black people, obviously are coming from behind, if we're being honest.
Definitely.
But what do?
Yeah.
We enjoy our money and blow it. It's as if we are the ones who are ahead. We drink more than people that are actually way ahead of us. But our level of sacrifice needs to be more so that we can catch up with the rest of society.
You know, it's I can talk for myself. You know, I started from the bottom where I actually built my parents' house.
Yes, I remember that.
I actually built my parents' house where we're staying in family houses. Family houses where
the 4 rooms.
The 4 rooms and all that. You know, there'll be issues there and there. But eventually we moved away. My father bought a place. And then I was like, okay, this house, the guy built a house. And I was like, no, this house, I know. When things become proper financial for me, I'm going to demolish this house and build proper. No one forced me. But I knew that I have to do it.
Why?
It's more of, I guess it's a Limpopo thing, man.
You were under pressure.
Yeah, it's a Limpopo thing, man. Limpopo guys build
Yeah, you were under
houses.
pressure, chief.
Limpopo, I can't say it was a pressure as well. It was more of,
Is that the culture?
yeah,
Is it a Limpopo culture?
It is.
Yes.
It is, and
And you're saying that's good culture?
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I can give example because this is a typical example that you are in Gauteng. There's you are staying in 4-room go Seshego, and something happens to you, you lose work here, you don't have income, you go back home, you find that your sibling, your brother, took what was your room that you're using. Now you have to chase out your little brother out. You can't do that. You can't do that. How are you gonna live? Now you're going back to a 4-room. You can't. Just make sure that home is tight, and then do your own things afterwards. But some people will say, do your thing, and then go and fix home. But I believe fix home first, and then go and build your legacy. Yeah.
So you're saying mainly it was the pressure for you?
The pressure,
Good pressure.
been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pressure can be negative and positive. Yeah. Good pressure, it was there. And it was my goal as well.
A heart's desire.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I want to build my parents a proper house. Yeah. And I did that.
And, sometimes you don't realize the growth that comes with committing to a goal and doing it and finishing it. How important then is drawing those kinds of wins so that you can have confidence to build your own portfolio? How important are those wins when it comes to building your confidence in business, in society as a person?
Witness, I believe everything needs foundation. And for me, building my parents' house, it was a foundation for me. I knew that once I'm done here, I can actually focus on myself and building wealth for myself. That's for me. That was my foundation. So I made sure that I build this. It's a foundation. It's confidence as well that, you know what, I've done well for my parents. I'm good home. And then now I can focus on myself. Yeah.
What's the worst financial mistake that you've made?
Geez, I can't say it was really a worst financial mistake, but it was part of paying school fees. It was in a business.
The chicken business?
The chicken business, the frozen chicken shop. So I had a friend of mine. We came into partnership that we're opening a shop in Akrobasdal and in Limpopo. We're opening a shop where we're going to sell frozen chicken. Okay, fair enough. Good, agreed. And then I realized that, you know what, this friend of mine, he's working full-time and I'm working full-time. And the shop will need someone who's going to be there 100% full-time as well, in order for the shop to prosper and grow and all that. So we got another friend of it was me. I got another friend of mine. I said, buddy, you just lost your job. We have a project that we're running here. I think you can add value here. Remember, I went to this friend for the mere fact that he's a friend and he's not working.
Not because he was skilled.
No.
Not because he was the right person for the job.
No.
But because he's a friend and you wanted to save him.
I want to save him.
Yeah.
Yeah. We took the guy went there. The shop, by 11th month, the shop was closing down.
Why? What happened?
Basically, the friend that was involved full time was mismanaging the business, from the finance and from the stock and everything. We realized towards I think the 6th month, but we tried to engage so that we can push the business. But no, it never worked. And I realized that I went to this friend of mine because he's a friend and he's not working. Not that he's skilled and he's passionate about entrepreneurship.
So if we were to draw from that,
Yeah.
are we saying we shouldn't help our friends? What are we saying?
I will say, help a friend must be skilled.
Okay.
A friend or a family member must be skilled. If you take family member or a friend, definitely the business will go under. Definitely will go under.
What's the biggest lie about money that we all need to unlearn?
You know, money is emotional thing.
It's emotional.
It's quite emotional. It's attached to emotions.
Yeah.
Money is quite emotional. You know, this is the reason why you see people going to the casinos and
Hey, you know,
and
when you say
blowing money.
casinos,
Yes.
I heard that South Africans spent 1.3 trillion
Yeah.
on gambling in the last financial year.
You see that
Online gambling, to
yeah,
be specific.
you see these companies are mushrooming all over the place. The bet the bet whatever. There's money there. South Africans are really gambling their lives away.
And you're saying money is emotional.
Yeah.
So are you saying South Africans are emotionally gambling their lives away?
Their lives away. You know, that's the issue because the money you attached as you go to the casino, you bet. You might win now. And then you know that no, I've won. You are attached to the money emotionally. The following day you go again. You think you will win again. You will lose. You know, there are so many South Africans that are indebted because of gambling.
Sounds like a big problem, but why is it that we are going through life as if it's not an issue? Like same as you said, alcohol causes poverty.
Yeah.
Why is it that we can't say gambling causes poverty? Do you not think gambling causes poverty?
No, it does, but I think it goes again to financial literacy again, and knowing when to stop.
Both are very addictive.
Exactly. I can play lotto now and lose. It's fine. I'm not hooked. You know, I know when to stop, but for most of people, they don't know when to stop. Especially the ones that are hooked in gambling. Yeah, they will go as far as selling their positions.
Actually, there are the few ones that on social media
Yeah,
display their winnings, display the cars that they've bought through
yeah,
gambling.
yeah.
You know, so don't you think that also creates a fear of missing out in some people?
It does. It does, and it's again goes back to what we're saying. You want to be seen as well.
Okay, I don't want to miss out.
I don't want to miss out from this, so I want to be seen as well that I want to go in and make money. It's similar to, there was the Bitcoin thing, there was this, Bitcoin is one of instruments is recognized currently in SA, but you'll have people that will go there blindly and lose money as well. It's matter of, I want to go there and cash out, not knowing what you're doing exactly.
Or people want to cash out without knowledge.
Exactly. Unfortunately, we want quick cash. We don't want to grind and have a long term to create wealth. We want money now. That instant gratification. Yeah.
And then the biggest shift that you've made personally with your finances, what was it?
I think for me, investing in property, Witness. That if someone told me, or I had a mentor when I started working in my early 20s, I'll be worth millions and millions.
You didn't have Witness Mdaka in your 20s.
Witness wasn't there. Witness was somewhere in Klebgat there. So yeah, Witness, if I had someone at that early age say, you know what, put all your monies in this, focus in property, I'll be multi-millionaire at the moment. Property for me, it's, I've tried lots of businesses from
Yeah, how many
selling
businesses did
chickens.
you start? Maybe
Man,
more than 10.
It's a lot.
15.
I lost count. I lost money as well.
You paid school fees.
I paid school fees. But yeah, I went to property. I realized that, you know what, this is my wealth creation. I will do other businesses, but I know property is my core business.
Is it because of the stability that it brings
Yeah.
and the safety net, or you being able to draw some equity out of it to invest in another business without worrying?
Yeah, it's a couple of things.
Yeah.
You know, property, it's asset. You can touch it. You know, you can be able
You're
to.
going to hey, black man,
Yeah,
you want
but I
to
want
see
to
what
touch
you're...
my money. You know,
Yeah.
you can raise money through property. You can have equity there. Go to the bank and get money from a property. You can leave the property for your kids. The banks are easily financing properties. You know, property for me, it's a cornerstone of investment.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And then what would you teach your own children then about money?
You know, I've started. I have a 7-year-old that you know, she's I think she's inclined now into the finances. Whenever,
Yeah, my daughter told me,
Yeah.
Kanye says, like, Daddy, you know, Sedi works for his dad, for her dad.
no, definitely.
I'm like, Sedi works for her dad.
No,
It's
definitely.
like, yeah, you must start paying me. You're
Yeah.
creating pressure for me.
No, it's a good pressure again. You
Because that
know,
one is working for free.
it's a good pressure. You know, just try to entice them. You know, but you know, I make sure that whenever she wants something, she work for it. Whenever our Airbnb, whenever we have to go and clean and all that, I'll take with the maintenance for the properties. I'll take her with.
Yeah.
She must see where the money is coming from. That daddy is working for this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then wealth or peace of mind?
yeah.
What comes first?
Geez, I'd rather have wealth, man. I'll rather have wealth. I'll
You'd rather have wealth more than
Yeah,
peace
no,
of
no,
mind?
no, no. I'll rather have wealth.
Why?
You know, money solves lots of things, Witness. You know, when you have money, you're able to go for counseling.
And by the way, peace of mind is not permanent.
Exactly. Money solves lots of stuff, man. You know, sometimes I wouldn't blame the ladies that are in it for money, so to say.
Yeah?
Sometimes
What are you saying, Chief?
money solves lots of things.
Are you saying the slay queen culture is good?
I'm not
Because
saying
they're in it for the money. Are you saying you won't blame anyone that goes into it for the money?
to make lives better. I won't really blame them, man.
Okay. Why?
You know, you have to live, and money makes things better. Witness. If you have money, your life becomes better. Of course, it doesn't solve everything, but your life becomes better. I can be able to go to Dubai now. I can be able to go wherever. Peace of mind without money, you struggle, my friend. You go have peace of mind in Seshio there and poor. Come on. Come on. Peace of mind, it's crucial as well. But I'd rather have wealth than peace of mind after.
So peace of mind must come after.
Yeah.
Finish this sentence. A wealthy nation is a space.
It's a winning nation.
A wealthy nation is a winning nation.
Yeah.
Unpack that.
I'll say, you know, a wealthy nation, it means there's employment. It means the country GDP is proper. It means, you know, poor, there are few poor people in the country because people are wealthy. You know, it is a winning nation.
Sure.
Yeah.
And what do you think we need to do as South Africans to create a winning nation?
Geez, you know, Witness, we have so many issues. You know, our issues are plenty. But where I'll start is our leaders to hopefully change the caliber of our leaders. We need young minds. We need people who gonna come in power and have willingness to make our country better. from where I'm
Is
sitting.
that from a political point of view or
Yes.
generally within our communities?
I think in general, you need the willingness to make things better. But it's even more politically because it's the highest level of leadership in the country. You need people where they'll actually have willingness to make things better, not for themselves only and friends and families.
But why do you think there isn't that strong hunger, man, amongst young black people to really create wealth, but to create it for the benefit of others? You know, I was talking to a venture capitalist raising funds for a company.
Yeah.
And he said to me, part of the criteria there is for you to get these funds, you must tell us what your personal long-term vision
Yeah.
for Africa and other people is going to be.
Yeah.
Because should you get wealthy, you might be in a position to influence policy.
Yes.
So you don't want the wrong person
Yes.
to have this wealth and influence policies to put other people down. Then it made me think that how many people actually have the opportunity to answer that question and really think about other people and not themselves.
Yeah.
Are we in a culture where it's all about me and my family and being seen to be doing well?
Yeah.
Or are we building a culture where young people actually strive to build a better nation, not only for themselves, but for the entire country?
Yeah.
And why do we not have that if we don't have it?
You know, I can give you an example of the USA, a typical Trump guy. You know, you can see at the moment it's more about him and the USA. He's putting the USA first. So he says, even though he's just messing up. You know, all this, the tariffs that he put on the countries, just messing up the world economy. You know, the prices of inflation for other countries influenced by those tariffs. It's more of he's saying, I want to make America great again. It's more of America, not the world. You know, I think we heading to that, and if we don't stop it sooner or later, it's going to cause trouble amongst the countries and the world. Let's say now we're saying the foreigners must go in SA. We want to fix our country, one SA only in the country. What kind of world are we leading? Because we want the foreigners to come. Okay, of course, come legally so, but come in the country. Let's push Mzansi together. It's not about us only, as South Africans only, but let's all of us, especially the African continent. You know, so.
I can hear Oria from Seychelles.
No, definitely.
You were influenced.
No, definitely, man. Definitely, it's heading there of it's us and us only, but it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that.
What should it be like? What would be the ultimate? You know, because in as much as we may say that we are more welcoming, shouldn't it be that we should be building our country in such a way that we attract top people, and when they come to this country, they're respected.
Yeah.
We respect them.
Yes.
We all respect each other, but we push the mandate of human development and human progress together.
Definitely, I think you said it better, because if you attract the skilled, you attract the skills from all over the world, your country, your economy should prosper. You know, but our issue in SA, I believe that we have so many illegal foreigners who are not really contributing as such to the economy. If you check currently, unemployment is close to 40% or so of the country. And surely we might be counting the illegal foreigners as well in that 40%. You know, and apparently, so people say that they come and then they are a cheaper labor, illegal foreigners. You know, and they come undocumented, and then they are being used by the capital. You know, Witness is sitting in Tembisa.
You're also part of the capital.
Yeah, no, I am.
Yeah.
I am. I agree that. I fully agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Witness is sitting somewhere in Tembisa, looking for a job.
So, in closing, if you were given an opportunity to speak to the young Moloko through that camera,
Yeah.
and by the young Moloko, I'm talking about the young guy that's starting out. He might
Yeah.
be black,
Yeah.
might be white, might
Yeah.
be Indian,
Yeah.
might be a foreign
Yeah.
in this country. What would you say to them that they can take and start using it tomorrow morning?
I'll say, young person, you're allowed to take risks and make mistakes at early age. You can easily recover. The risk I'm talking about going into business, failing, and trying another one, failing, trying another one, until you find what's working for you. That's what I'll say.
Not the relationship. Try one.
No. That won't
Because
work.
young people are thinking risk. It means I can go into
No.
one relationship, risk it, get into another one. You're
Make
talking about
money.
business.
Make money. Girls will come, man.
Girls will come when you make money. Yeah, you
money,
did say
girls will come.
you want girls to want money.
Yeah, no, make money. Girls will come. Don't chase after girls.
Don't chase after girls.
No, make money. Girls will come.
Moloko, where do people find you?
No, I'm on Facebook, Moloko Makgele. I'm on TikTok as well, Moloko Makgele. I'm on Twitter, it's Moloko Makgele as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much, my brother, for availing yourself
Yeah.
to have this conversation. You know, man, I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
You know, in your property investing endeavor, in your business, your new venture that you've started.
Yeah.
Where you are helping people repair their credit scores
Yep.
so that they can start investing in property.
Yeah.
We need more South Africans owning this country.
Yeah.
You know, I remember DJ Sbu said to me, "You can't call yourself an African if you don't own a piece of Africa."
Yeah.
And fixing your credit is part of you preparing yourself to own a piece of
piece,
Africa.
yeah.
Owning that property, you are saying,
Yeah.
in this country, I own something.
Yep.
You're not part of this country by merely being born in it.
Yeah.
You are actively buying or building something that says,
Yeah.
I own a piece of it too, and therefore I have a right to contribute
Yeah.
to the growth and the development of
Yeah.
this country. And I think by having these conversations, you've also added value. Somebody might be watching it 5 years from today,
Yeah.
10 years from today, but we both know that their lives will be elevated to the next level. And for that, I'm truly grateful. I'm sure that it's more than just money community
Yeah.
is grateful.
Yeah.
And remember, these conversations are brought to you by Adprop.
Yeah.
You must go out to adprop.co.za if you are wanting to learn more about property, how to list your property so that you can find a tenant, list your property so that you can find a buyer. Head out to adprop.co.za. Remember to sign up. From myself and my team, broadcasting from the It's More Than Just Money studios, funded by Adprop. It's more than just money. We'll see you in the next episode. Ciao, ciao.
Yeah.